What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only, Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys so very much. Over 1,500 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. Wow, I don't even have the words to describe that and to say that, but I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that have been there with me since the beginning. And it was crazy in the beginning, and now we're a lot more focused. All right, we got things in mind, and we got things kind of set. And today we are fortunate enough to have with us lawyer turned life coach, the lovely Shari Leid. Hey, Shari.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us, Shari. So, Shari, what part of the country are you holding down right now?
Well, I live in Seattle, but I'm actually on vacation, kind of holed up over here in the Florida Keys with my husband.
Oh,
wow. We're socially distancing, but we're socially distancing in sun.
Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds like the type of vacation I should have pushed for, Shari. I mean, it's beautiful weather out there. You guys are just chilling out on the beach probably and enjoying some wonderful, sun rays.
Yes, it's cold and rainy in Seattle, so we moved our office a little bit southeast.
I love it. All right, Shari. So to start things off with you, Shari, what was your dream as a kid? What did you want to be when you became an adult?
As a kid, actually, I remember my first job that I wanted to have was a teacher. And I think that's what many kids, if you love school, that was your kind of job go-to. And I loved school as a kid, and I was social. So my first job desire was teacher, and then from there I went to, I want to be a counselor or psychologist. Those are my initial thoughts.
Gotcha. And what led you to becoming a lawyer?
Honestly, I think at some point I kind of lost my way there with my natural passion. I got kind of caught up in the what would look good and what would make money kind of game, and I sort of forgot my passion a bit. But that being said, I practiced law for a little over 14 years.
Wow.
So I was in there for a while.
Okay. All right. And so I would assume that you got some kind of inspiration from something else to kind of put you. What was a bit of that inspiration that kind of led to you leaving your law career behind?
Well, it just so happens my husband and I adopted a daughter, and we had a biological son actually in the same year.
Yeah.
But my daughter ended up having some special needs, and that required me to stay home. So that was the initial reason I stopped practicing law. And now both kids are doing really great, and I had a chance to kind of figure out what exactly do I want to do with my life. And thankfully, I grew up a little bit and realized that there was a little bit more of a purpose that felt more authentic to me that I wanted to pursue. And I actually had a battle with breast cancer a few years back, and that really pushed my idea to the forefront that I need to live a life that felt very purposeful to me. And that sort of pushed me into, or drew me into the area of life coaching.
Gotcha. So after you kind of had this epiphany and you're like, you know what, this is something that I really want to explore, what was the first step for you?
Well, I got certified. I attended a life coaching course and did required hours to become certified as a life coach. And I think it was a natural fit because things kind of grew organically. And most of my clients, all of my clients are women, and most of the clients I gain come from word of mouth. And I wake up each morning. So when I practiced law, I used to drive to, at one point, I was a litigator, and at one point, my theme song in the morning was I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. So I'd throw that on in the morning and drive to work. Wow. And now, though, as a life coach, I wake up every morning just excited about the day ahead. So I know I'm in the right place.
Absolutely. what would you say was maybe your first hurdle in becoming a life coach and really kind of harnessing your creativity?
My first hurdle was my own barrier, I think, because when you say you're an attorney, everyone knows what that is, and people have an idea of what that identity is, and you don't have to say much more after that. You don't have to explain yourself necessarily.
Yeah.
And so I think my biggest hurdle was to feel comfortable saying, I'm a life coach, and really own it.
Right. What has been the most rewarding part of being a life coach for you?
The most rewarding part is seeing my clients, especially I love working with women, and I work with women between the ages of typically mid-30s to early 60s, and to see my clients reach these epiphanies and, learn that they have choices and to make these changes, and seeing it happen pretty quick with the idea that everyone has all the answers and they're inside of them, and my job is simply to guide them on their path, not to give them their answers, but help them to kind of pull these answers out of what's already inside of them.
Gotcha. All right. So we're going to talk about this new book that you have, The 50/50 Friendship Flow, Life Lessons from and for My Girlfriends. All right. So how did this project come about?
Well, I happened to attend a girlfriend's memorial service, and during the service, people had a chance to stand up and say things about her, and they were saying all these great things of how she taught them different life lessons, what she brought to their lives, and this was all great, but they were saying these things about her and not to her. And so I decided I wanted to change that. And with the idea that everyone we meet is both our teacher and our student, I set out over the course of a year to meet with 50 women, some women long lifetime friends, other women more recent acquaintances. But I set out to meet with them one-on-one. This was before the pandemic, to let them know, what they've taught me, what I see in them, and what they've meant to me. So I met with 50 women over the course of a year, and this organically grew into a book.
Yeah, I think that as I heard more and more about this project, I was like, that is absolutely amazing. And more and more people need to be doing that, just for everyone that you love and you care about in your life, absolutely tell them while they're still here to hear it and actually know from you how much you appreciate them and how much, they mean to you for whatever reason. So I thought that was very gratifying to hear about this project.
Yeah, and I found that, as I went along with it, and I encourage people to do this and I did this again during the pandemic over Zoom, but I encourage people to do this it doesn't have to be 50, it could be 5 friends or 10 or whatever, whatever set amount in a set amount of time, because it encourages you to get that done. But to do this, because if anything, 2020 has taught us that a day can't be wasted and things can change really quick.
Oh, yeah.
So we want to take this opportunity to tell people what they mean in our lives. And once I started to do this, it became easier and less awkward as I went along. But I started to notice when I met even new people, my mind immediately went to, okay, why is this person coming into my life? What am I learning from him or her? And that was such a great basis for friendship.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think this was an amazing and awesome concept. I'm glad it came to you the way that it did, and so myself and other people out there can really take something from it. And, like you said, 2020 has been, I don't even have the words to describe 2020. But I think that we absolutely can learn from just appreciating the people around us, the people that really they've influenced us. They've encouraged us, they've helped us to achieve our dreams and really hone into the person that we are today. So we should definitely appreciate each and every one of those people. So, Shari, what would you say is next for you on the agenda? Is there anything that we can talk about? I know that we're still living virtual life. We're still quarantining. We're social distancing and stuff. But any pop-ups on the website for you?
Well, so like I mentioned, I did this again during the pandemic, except through Zoom this time. And I happened to be watching a master class with Robin Roberts was teaching it. And I love Robin Roberts. And she had said her mom taught her to make her messes her messengers. And so my dates during the pandemic was I asked women, what is your mess that became your message? And so I'm writing about that, and that's the book that's going to come out later this year. But I learned so much talking to these women and asking them this question and learning that we all have, life messes, and life messes even with friends that we've known for a lifetime that we had no idea what they were going through. And so that was like free therapy throughout 2020 for me.
Certainly. Shari, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you so, so very much. And, kudos to you on this book and this project and everything else that's forthcoming in 2021. We know it's going to be a way better year for all of us. We're claiming that. We're putting that out into the universe. It's going to come back to us. But Shari, let everyone know the best way to get in contact with you guys, to get the book, of course, and to follow you on social media.
Sure. Well, I can be found at, and it's a mouthful, it's animperfectlyperfectlife.com. And I'm on social media everywhere by that same name, animperfectlyperfectlife.com. Thanks so much, Ash. I absolutely love speaking with you.
Oh, you're sweet, Shari. And so you got to come back. When you finish the second book, you got to come back and talk about it, all right? I like to have exclusives.
I'd love to, absolutely.
I love that. All right. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for all of your love and support throughout the years. We are still going strong into 2021. There's going to be so many new things and nuances. You got to stay tuned to social media. But in the meanwhile, be sure to just keep following your dreams no matter what. Anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.